TitleMatchNetwork.com.
So you teamed up with DDP in WWE. Do you think that hurt you at all?
Like I said, I think in many ways my relationship with Paige helped, and in many ways it hurt. Through all my experiences, through my mental treatment, and through 4 or 5 years of depression and fighting that, and kind of sitting back and looking at my life, I've really come to the realization that I really do fully believe everything happens for a reason, and the way it was supposed to happen, it happened. Mm-hmm. So to try to think of what would happen if it didn't happen that way, it's fruitless.
Any memories of working with Simmons and Bradshaw?
I think Bradshaw liked me a lot. He always did that, what Scott Hall calls sack of shit.
Right.
Catches crossbody, falls back, fall away slam. I came up, I don't know if he ever did it before, I don't know if anyone did it. I came up with the idea of him doing it to me off the second rope. And I think because I came up with a move for him to do, I think that, I took his clothesline from hell real well, never bitched. I think Bradshaw had some respect for me. Simmons was easy to get along with, man. He was just fun. When we were going over, it was funny. We got to the building. We saw what we were working on, but we didn't. They put little dots next to who was going to win. I didn't even look for that. I just assumed that tag champs they'd win it. Me and Paige and Bradshaw and Simmons go out to the ring. We start going over, and every idea me and Paige had was getting shot down. And halfway through them shooting everything down, I realized, holy fuck, I think we're winning this one. Hmm. And I think that's why they old school. They think they should get 90% of the match because they're dropping the straps. But once I realized I was getting the strap, I would have gave them 100% of the match. I didn't give a fuck, So, yeah, I think they were upset that we were getting the straps, but I still don't like.
How did you develop your style?
At first, a lot of it was Flair, watching Flair.
Right.
I watch a lot of my old tapes, and I do a lot of his stuff early on. Even when I'm a babyface, at times I catch myself. I always went for the figure four. I use that in a lot of my matches. And I'd watch myself almost grab the ropes and try to catch, if I was a babyface, catch myself and stop myself from doing it. But Flair and Piper were my two big influences growing up, man.
Piper's the best heel of all time. I mean, he was my favorite.
That's funny because they're both such great talkers. That's probably what, as a kid, attracted me, because I guess that made them stand out.
I remember 11:35 every Saturday morning, we'd get ready just for Piper's Pit. That's the only reason I watched the TV.
I have one of the most unbelievable Flair and Piper tapes. Piper back from then. I just got a VCL when Piper showed up in WWE. So, dude, if they mentioned him in commentary, I put it on the tape.
Right.
Same thing with Flair when he was there in 91. If they mentioned him, it got put on this tape. But I got lucky. In 84, I had a friend that worked lighting for New York Union, New York, Pennsylvania. And he did a lot of TV tapings back in 83, 84. And he knew I was a Piper fan. He stole me one of the original Piper's Pit posters, and I still have it.
That's awesome.
So I actually have it in the car for this convention. I should have brought it up.
That's pretty cool. That's actually
awesome. Because my thinking is there might not be another one of them. They may have never saved that stuff. I may have the only original Piper's Pit poster.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
How did you break into the business as far as getting trained and all that?
At 18, I wanted to. This is coffee, by the way.
That's cool.
It's not Scott Hall drink. And at 18, I wanted to go off and train. My parents, I was still living in Sunnyside, which is in Queens by Long Island City, Astoria, in that area. I wanted to go off and train to be a wrestler. And at 18, my parents said, well, either you can go off and do that and live on your own and support yourself, or we'll pay for college. And my best friend was a year older than me. He's actually only 3 months older, but I was born in January. He was born in November, so he was a year ahead of me in school. He'd already gone to University of Buffalo for his freshman year. So I was like, well, if they're going to pay for college, I might as well go hang with my best friend for 4 years. I just wasn't ready to live on my own and pursue the wrestling thing. I mean, I would have tried to pursue the wrestling thing, but I think it would have been hard, at 18. I never lived away from home. I thought this was a good halfway step. So I went to college for 4 years, studied physical therapy. Graduated in 92, but your senior year of physical therapy, you got to do internships.
Right.
3 6-week internships. I did one at NYU in Manhattan at the Ruskin Institute. And while I was there, right before Christmas, because I did it from January, into February, when I came home from Christmas from school, my cousin called me and said that it's going to ruin the Christmas gift, but he's buying me a bunch of autographed pictures from WBAB, I think it was,
right,
on Long Island. John Orezzi, I think, was doing a show. And he was going to buy it from there, and since my cousin ordered it from him, he said, well, why don't you come down Sunday and pick it up? Cactus Jack and Missy Hyatt was going to be on the air. You can meet them. So my cousin said, well, can I invite my cousin? So when we went there, to meet Cactus and Missy and, John Rezzi and shit, there was a kid that was sitting in the lobby too waiting. And he introduced himself, and I recognized the name, and he was either being sued or he was suing Herb Abrams. So I knew the story because I'd been getting the sheets for a while. So me and him just started talking about Herb Abrams and wrestling in general. And my cousin's nuts. My cousin's legitimately nuts. He's about 2 or 3 years older than I am. He's just retired from the cops. But he wanted to put a wrestling ring in his backyard. Huh. So he would have been 21 at the time. He was going to buy a wrestling ring and put it in his backyard. So we asked this kid, where's there a ring? And he gave me the address of the Lower East Side Wrestling Gym. That was run by Pete McKay, Gonzalez, and Bobby Bold Eagle, Ishmael Harena. And it was down by the FDR, by the Manhattan Bridge. So I went down there. I told my cousin, I'll go look into it for you. So I went down there, and we didn't know it was a school. We just thought it was a place that would build rings or something. Right. And I showed up, and it was a school. And Pete McKay met me there. And I expected an Irish guy. He was totally Spanish, Puerto Rican, I think. So he invites me into the gym and starts asking about the ring. He starts telling me about the ring and stuff. And I kept looking over at the ring because he had one set up. It was a school. So I kept looking over, and I'm looking at him, and he has a twitch. He's doing this, and I was like, and he noticed I kept looking at the ring. He goes, "You want to get in there, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Go ahead." So I got in there, I was bouncing around, taking bumps, and he said, "Come back Saturday." Because a bunch of guys come every Saturday. So I came back Saturday and immediately put me in there with guys, and I'd already been wrestling in the backyard with my friends and my cousin, and at a youth center in Sunnyside every Monday and Friday. They had this this Catholic youth center. Right. I used to go there, set up the mats, and just wrestle. So I already kind of knew how to bump. I already somewhat. I knew a lot of moves. So I fit in pretty quick with the guys to the point where after a couple of weeks ago on Saturday and wrestling with them, they actually held me down one day and thought that I was sent over by Johnny Rods as a spy to look into that school. Literally, that's what they said. You were sent by Johnny. I'm like, I don't know what you guys talk about. That was my first taste of weird politics in the business. And I said, no, I just love the business. So, I ended up training there for a few months. Had my first match in April of '92. In Levittown, Long Island, Allen Trees Junior High School. Levittown, Long Island.
All right. Looking back, your favorite match, favorite moment in the business?
The crowd's tough, man. New York sucks. I love New York, but that fucking Garden crowd sucks. But dude, to walk out after all the shit I've been through, after 9 years in the business at that point, to finally make it to the Garden, get to wrestle a friend of mine, Jeff Hardy, walk out in the Garden, the most historic building on the planet, and get to wrestle there, man. Nothing like it, man. I was like a kid. It was unfucking real.
Now you're back in New York, and you just recently announced that you're going to start taking bookings again, right?
Yep. Yeah. Just northeast. Within 250 miles of New York, that waits to drive. I got sick of flying. I got sick of doing indie shots where I don't know if the guys can get me an airline ticket and blocking out that time. This way, either I don't make the drive if I feel like it's a screw job, or if I make a 250 3-hour drive and I get there and the guy fucks me. Huh. So I wasted 6 hours. Who gives a fuck?
Are you happy in life right now?
Happiest I think I've ever been in my life.
Healthy? Mentally?
Yeah, I think so. And therapy's a great thing, man. And you know what? Vince was forced into, I think, for PR reasons, to agree to pay for rehab for guys. He should pay for more than that. He should offer psychological counseling to the guys on the road. And to, if he's gonna say, if you're gonna be a drug addict and alcoholic, I'm gonna pay for that. To not pay for psychological counseling is almost rewarding someone for being worse, or for doing something less ethical, or for being weaker. I think personally, if he's serious, if he's not just doing it for PR, if he really wants to help the boys out, have a psychological counselor on the road with these guys, man. I think after a while, I don't think guys. When my doctor told me I had to go, my mom said, "You're not crazy. Why are you going?" My dad, they didn't want me to go. They didn't know I tried to kill myself, but my doctor did, and he threatened to tell my parents if I didn't go. Thank God. But there's a stigma that I think is horrible, and it ends up killing people. And I think Vince, at least if he's serious about helping people, offer psychological counseling to the boys, because we need it. Because we're in a business that feeds fucking dementia, feeds bipolar, feeds, just when you mess with reality, man, things happen.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for being here today, and it was a great interview.
Thanks.
And I wish you the best of luck in anything you do.
Thank you, buddy.
Cool. Thank you.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.